Hey guys, NFL Prospect Week continues with Daily Iowan TV Sports. I'm sitting next to former Iowa fullback Adam Cox. Thanks so much for sitting down with me. Let's just kind of start from the beginning. Started here as a walk-on. What attracted you to the University of Iowa, and was there any other options in your radar at that point?
Yeah, coming out of high school, I was getting recruited by some smaller schools, maybe 1AA schools, but you really can't beat a school like Iowa, the tradition, and when you see 70,000 people sitting in the stadium, it's hard to pass that up, and I think that's something I'd regret my whole life if I didn't at least give it a shot, and thankfully it kind of worked out a little bit. So.
And as a walk-on, when you first came here, what did your mindset have to be being a walk-on?
You just really couldn't take any days off, and you just had to grind, really. There's other guys on scholarship that you had to outwork. You couldn't just, you couldn't be the same as them, or they're going to give it to the scholarship guy. You have to outwork everybody every day, and you need some breaks too along the way. So got kind of lucky on as well. So.
Do you remember the first time you ever played inside Kinnick Stadium, or your first collegiate game?
Oh yeah. Actually, it was against NIU, who was kind of recruiting me. So I was kind of had a thing out for him, and then the first play was we were on kick return, and they kicked the ball right to me, and I was pretty scared actually, and but it worked out, so that's it.
Yeah, and then an injury preseason of 2014, correct?
Yeah.
Kind of just walk me through that injury and what exactly happened.
Yeah, that was pretty tough. Actually, the day before was when Coach Ferentz told me I was going to be put on scholarship, so I was at like an all-time high, and then the next day was our first padded practice, and kind of just going through a 9-on-7 drill and got rolled up on and heard my knee pop. Wasn't sure what happened, and the next day I got an MRI and stuff, and I ended up with a torn ACL and missed that season, and just kind of had to rehab through it and get back for my senior year.
How mentally tough did you have to be through that? You had just gotten your scholarship. You probably wanted it to be your breakout season, and then you have this setback. How mentally tough did you have to be?
Yeah, that was really tough. It took a while to kind of get back on my feet. There was a few weeks where I was just kind of feeling sorry for myself, and then kind of hits you. It's not going to just get better. You're going to have to work to get better, and just kind of had to grind through it. Just like coming in as a walk-on, it was nothing new really. Just had to work hard and hope for the best. So.
And then, were you fully ready come spring ball in 2015, or was your progress still take it back a little bit?
The doctors and everybody said I was physically ready, but I was scared in spring ball, not to re-hurt it or if I was fully ready to go. But I think spring ball helped a lot mentally and physically, just kind of knowing that my knee was all right, and obviously it made it through. So.
And then obviously your senior season in 2015 was absolutely incredible, undefeated in the regular season. Was there ever a moment in the season where you kind of just took a step back and you're like, wow, we have a team here and we could do some incredible things?
Yeah, honestly, I think the moment I will always remember is getting off the bus before the Minnesota game. There was so many people out there, and they were so loud, and kind of got goosebumps walking down. You're like, man, we have a chance to be 10-0 after this game, and we have a good team. This is going to be a fun night, and obviously it was, and we just kept rolling after that. That was one of those things you won't forget.
Not at all. I don't. That was probably my favorite. That was probably one of my favorite games that I've ever covered.
Yeah,
it's just the atmosphere.
Blackout uniforms and all that. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, the feeling is absolutely crazy. And then obviously the Big Ten championship didn't end the way that you guys wanted to. Kind of take me through your thought process after that game, and I know it was very emotional, especially for you seniors.
Yeah, that was tough, kind of that last, 9 minutes, watching them kind of drive it down the field. But it was, we knew we gave it everything we had, and they ended up having a better game than us that night. But it was really tough for a couple days, or I guess actually one day. Then the next day we found out the Rose Bowl was a pretty pretty good consolation to that, I guess. So, but it was tough. But looking back now, there's nothing you can do about it, and I think everybody's still happy with the season we had. So.
Personally, when you found out it was the Rose Bowl, how excited were you?
I was really excited. I was nervous. I remember me and my roommates were kind of sitting there watching the show, and there was a couple of games before us that got shown on TV, and we're like, man, I don't know. And then it came up, and we kind of just all started yelling and cheering. It was pretty cool. It was pretty fun.
The Rose Bowl, the game obviously didn't end in how anyone wanted it to, but just the Rose Bowl as a whole, how was that as a senior?
Yeah, that experience, another one I'll never forget. Just that whole area, riding in the bus up to the stadium, just the tradition involved there, and that's one of the best bowl games of them all, and just all the stuff they had planned for us was a lot of fun, and just one of those things.
And then after the Rose Bowl ended, what did you just get back right on the grind, or what was going through your head at that point?
Yeah, I didn't really know at that point if I was going to train or not. I had sat down with Coach Doyle, and he said, you'll regret it if you don't. Take a few days off and come back. So I think it was maybe the next week we started training again for the pro day and stuff. So what made you start training? What really got you to the point where you want to go for this? Just not ready to be done with football, and that's another thing I'd regret if I didn't try. Just knowing that you have a chance to play at the highest level is pretty cool. So I would have been upset with myself if I didn't.
Has the NFL always been a dream to you, or did it come at a certain moment, you think?
Yeah, it's been a dream since, kindergarten or whatever, just watching those guys on TV and stuff. It's like, man, that'd be awesome. So it was a far off dream, and the last couple of years, you're like, man, maybe, and now hopefully it comes true, so we'll see. Yeah,
and then kind of just take me through pro day here at Iowa and how it was personally for you.
Yeah, it was a really nerve-wracking day. You show up and there's scouts from all these teams, but then you kind of get going a little bit, and it's just another day. You just got to do your best, and they're either going to like you or they're not, so there's not a lot you can change, so just had to do whatever.
And as far as being around your teammates at that point, a lot of people got to participate in Iowa's pro day. How was it being around those guys?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Everybody did really well for themselves that day, I think, in my mind. So it was fun. We had a couple guys come back too. Cody Soko was throwing the ball around really good that day, and it was just fun. One last game day, for all the seniors. So that was really cool to be a part of.
And then throughout this whole process, you're a walk-on. You finally get that scholarship, have an incredible senior season. What have you learned about yourself in this whole process, and what can you really take away from being a part of a program like this?
Just don't give up on anything. Don't give up on your dreams, I guess. It sounds kind of cheesy, but I didn't know anything coming in if I was going to ever play here. Ended up getting to play. Ended up, going to the Rose Bowl of all places, and just don't give up and keep going. You'll never know what happens if you just keep working.
And of course, the draft is creeping up on everyone, just about 2 weeks away. Will you watch the draft, or what are you going to be doing during that?
Yeah, I'll watch the first rounds as a fan, and just hope for all my teammates to get picked up and everything. So I'll watch it, but I'm not going to be too worried about it.
And then as far as the future, if the draft doesn't become a thing, do you think football will be a part of your life for forever?
Yeah, definitely. I've always wanted to be a coach. I'm not sure whether it be high school, college, strength and conditioning, or being a position coach or whatever, but football will definitely always have a place in my heart, and hopefully my kids will want to play and always be a part of my family and stuff. So
awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Yeah, thank you.
Good luck with everything.
Yeah.